Hey, what up, everybody? Welcome to the Film Focus page. It's me again, and I'm going to be giving you my newest review of Tonya, the acclaimed new film directed by Craig Gillespe and starring Margot Robbie, Allison, Janey, and Sebastian Stahn. Now, this film, Tonya, is based upon a true story, and it tells the story of Olympic hopeful Tonya Harding and an incident that took place in 1994 where her husband hired some associates to break the knee of another Olympic hopeful and competitor, Nancy Kerrigan. And this film basically gives us an overview of Tonya's life, the events that led up to this situation, and the aftermath of that situation. Now, the fact that this film is based upon a true story is what makes it all the more engaging. And this film, for me, I thought was just incredible. This film has been critically acclaimed. It's been nominated for 3 Academy Awards, including Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress. And I think that these accolades are very much well deserved. You know, for me, I like the way this film was shot, first and foremost. It is a film that engages the audience. It is a film that grabs the audience and puts them in the situation right from the get-go. It is told in mockumentary style, where, you have all the characters in the film and you're like they're interviewing all of them, getting their interpretation and recollection of events. I also liked how this film incorporated fourth wall speaking. Now, fourth wall speaking, if you don't know what it is, it's like where a character can be in a scene talking to a character, and then the actor will then look into the camera and directly start speaking to the audience. Now this is something that we have seen done before on numerous occasions. Stuff like the Bernie Mac show. It was done heavily in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So I like the way that they took a different view in terms of how they were going to tell his story. And when they did that, I thought, okay, this is something that I'm going to be excited about. This is something that I find to be entertaining. This is something that is going to get me gripped from the get-go. And lo and behold, it was gripping from the get-go. This film is billed as a comedy, but it's also a drama. And also it can be quite emotionally gut-wrenching at times. Especially the scenes between Tonya and her mother. But first things first, let's talk about performances. I thought Margot Robbie was excellent in this film. And what was even more surprising, that she was actually a producer on this film. So she's added another string to her bow. And she gave a very good emotional as well as a comedic performance of Tonya. And it shows that, this girl can actually act. When she's given a good script and a right part, she can act the hell out of this role. And lo and behold, she did. Also, I liked Sebastian Stahn's performance in this film. Now, Sebastian Stan, he plays the Winter Soldier in the Avengers films. And for me, it was good to see him in something different. I thought the chemistry between Tonya and her husband was very, very good in this film. What made your mouth just drop to the floor in certain scenes was the violence. The domestic violence that Tonya endured from her husband. It wasn't stylized in any way, shape, or form. It wasn't glamorized. It wasn't, there was no music. It was just brutal and full on. And there were just scenes that just made your mouth to drop to the floor like, whoa, And what even made you tug at your heartstrings was the fact that Tonya kept on going back to him. After he kept on abusing her physically as well as emotionally and mentally. But for me, the performances in this film are flawless. The writing is sharp, it's witty, it's funny, it's engaging, it's like it just keeps you gripped from the get-go. But for me, the standout performance from this film, and I hope that this woman wins an Academy Award from this film, was Allison Janey, who plays Tonya's mother, and she was superb. She gave an excellent comedic performance as well as an excellent dramatic performance. And Allison Janey is a veteran. She's won numerous Emmys for her performance on The West Wing. She's done a string of films, theatre, and this is her best performance to date. And just to see her in this role, as the mentally abusive, mentally and physically abusive mother was just incredible. And there were certain scenes in this film that just made you feel for Tonya. Where the mother just starts mentally and physically abusing her. There was a scene where Tonya is about to go and start performing on the ice rink, and then she's heckled. Somebody starts shouting abuse at her, and then we later see that the mother had actually paid the man to do so. And you thought, what type of mother does that? And then there was another scene that was really, really gut-wrenching where you saw Tonya's mother come to see Tonya after the incident with Nancy Kerrigan, profess her love for her, start saying, oh, I'm sorry and everything. Then she asks her, were you involved? And she later finds out that the mother was actually wired. trying to get confession out of her. And these are things that just makes you, your mouth just start spewing out expletives. Like, what the hell type of mother does these type of things? But on the whole, this film is just beautifully shot. It's thoroughly entertaining and it's thoroughly gripping from the get-go. And again, credit to Craig Gillespe for the way that he directed the film. Credit to Steve Rogers, who wrote the film as well. He wrote a very sharp and entertaining piece of work. And also the soundtrack to this film. Music plays a part in most films. It's almost like a character in the story. And the music for this film, from the early 90s, it acts as a narrative. And it actually helps draw the film out even more. But I loved every minute of it. And I, Tonya, is very much an Oscar-worthy film. I think for Allison Janey's performance. But on the whole, this film was thoroughly entertaining. It was very, very funny. Very engaging from the get-go. And Margot Robbie, I'd like to see more of her in the near future. I think we're going to be seeing more of her, dramatic performance-wise. And Craig Gillespe, we didn't know anything about him before, but I got a feeling that we're going to be hearing a lot more about him after this film. Because this film has been getting critical acclaim across the board, and rightly so. So, for me, I love this film. I'm going to give this film 8 out of 10. Is this one to watch? Absolutely. Is it one for the DVD collection? You know what? I'm going to add it to my DVD collection. It's one of them films that I feel I can just watch, whenever I've got an opportunity, when I've got 3 hours to spare. So, that's my review of I, Tonya. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe to my channel. Feel free to leave your comments. What did you think about the review? And I shall see you on the next film review. Stay blessed.